Soybeans had a good day midweek. AgDay's Michelle Rook talks with Allison Thompson about the corn-soybean price ratio and other factors driving planning decisions this spring in Markets Now.
Welcome to Markets. Joining me is Allison Thompson with the Money Farm. And Allison, let's talk a little bit about the Northern Plains planting decisions that are going on and some of the ratios that you're looking at that are helping make those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously the first one that everyone's aware of is the corn-soybean ratio. That gets a lot of the attention from the market on what that's telling us intention-wise going forward. We didn't get a lot of movement in the month of February, but going forward, depending on what kind of weather we get for spring, what conditions are looking like, market prices could definitely have an influence because we are in the swing acre area up here. We are limited further in the valley just because of sugar beets. We do have some rotational things there, but otherwise we are going to have to start looking at some other ratios too. They're not looking at a whole lot of spring wheat acres coming in this year, but a lot of guys are worried about that as well just because of what prices have done. But interestingly, we need to start looking at that ratio too. So I've started watching a ratio between spring wheat and soybeans on what's actually going on there. And actually they're starting to favor the wheat market on top of the soybeans. So if we start seeing a decent rally in wheat, always subject to change when we have the 20-cent move, but it is something we're definitely worth watching. And if we get a better ratio, I think we definitely could see a lot of guys pulling some triggers and getting some more wheat in the ground here this spring.
The other consideration, though, is going to be weather, drought monitor out. And certainly we're concerned a little bit about expanding drought, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Normally we don't talk about a drought in the winter. Usually our spring weather kind of makes up for that. And snow up here doesn't amount to a whole lot of moisture in the spring. But it's not only just here that we're seeing dry conditions this year, but it also goes down to the Corn Belt. And it is actually expanding in Iowa, and it's going into the Iowa states and actually into some winter wheat areas. So if that does continue, we are looking for a drier spring, and hopefully it doesn't continue. But if it were to extend into the growing season, there's always a potential for some kind of a weather market.
And there's also potential that an early spring could impact what gets planted if we get in the fields early, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that's on everyone's mind. I think there's a lot of planters coming out of sheds. The guys are getting ready to roll. When we're looking at 30, 40 degree days up here this time of year, it's pretty fun. So, but yeah, we need to be aware of those things as well.
All right, thanks for joining us. Allison Thompson with the Money Farm, and we'll have more AgDay coming up.